All right, I've destroyed the defenders in the northern suburbs. They only had one artillery piece. It ended up being much quicker with obviously more artillery. I have 8 now, and more are coming out over here. Now I know this had 1 artillery and this had at least 2 and at least 2, because I sent infantry to all 3 locations that had 10 health, 8 damage for an artillery. These 2 died. This one on the north, the 1 infantry got hurt and went to 2 health. So I know 8 damage hit that artillery. But we'll just see how this goes. I'm gonna just keep adding more artillery. I think I need to consolidate them here, and they'll move in with like fresh infantry. This has been a lot slower than I was expecting. It's day 19. For example, Spain hasn't even moved. I don't know why Persia moved right here. That's weird. I don't know how Spain took this city so fast. Okay, Chile took a city. Chile does not have access to his provinces anymore. What is going on with Chile and Norway? They might be colluding, but why? Like, you're not going to win. Oh, Colombia's back. Colombia usually messes with Mexico, and it's kind of entertaining. I'll see him like take a territory here, and then Mexico comes back and shows him what's up. But Mexico's really taking ground now. I'm totally fine with that. I'm going to have to start attacking him very soon, but it's just a slogfest with this artillery thing, with the city forts being level 5. Also, fun fact, if you send in a weak troop to take the city instead of a big army, like I'm doing here, I'm force marching this 1 infantry, you could see that this infantry's building damage is going to be 0.2. So when he takes the city, he's going to do 0.2 damage to all the buildings because there's no infantry to split up the damage, or there's no enemy army to split up the damage. Whereas in this 21st Infantry Division, it's 3.7. Now that's not a huge difference, but it helps knocking down these health points. And it makes such a bigger difference when you have like a big army like this, right? 26.9 damage. But they've increased the health of a fort by a lot, which I think is a great idea. I think it's going to preserve the buildings and preserve the forts longer, so you'll probably lose artillery first. Because when I took this main city and the southern suburbs of Tikrit, the city artillery died before the fort fell. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it. But I'm glad I got this spot, because this is a great spot to counterattack Mexico. So what I'm going to do is just build up the industry and the morale here, so I can attack here and I can attack here. I do need more time, but what are you going to do? I'm so bummed that the suburbs, all of them had artillery. It would have been nice to have a day of healing for my artillery, but it is what it is. All right, it's the morning now. I'm almost to day 21. Now that is a lot. I was not expecting it to take this long, but honestly, everyone else is kind of struggling. So I've taken the eastern suburb of Tikrit. I'm starting building, and my artillery, I didn't lose any. Now I consolidated full health ones with ones that were half injured, and I'm really confused that I didn't lose anyone. I should have lost the injured ones, but what are you going to do? So now we're on our last hurrah. My plan is to bombard this city and then consolidate the cavalry here with this fresh troops and then take the suburb. Now my thinking is, I didn't record it, but this eastern suburb only had 3 artillery and 9 infantry. Now that's just not a lot. So I'm hoping that this suburb also just doesn't have a lot and I can take it quick, because last night I stole this area here in the hinterlands of the western suburb from the AI because they left it open with a high level 2 fort. So I didn't want to give this to my opponent. I also don't want them to take this, but honestly, since they have all the way up to here, they can get around me if need be. So I shouldn't focus on trapping them right here. I have my defensive line right here, and I'm going to punch through. You can see I'm consolidating right here. Once I've taken this suburb and some time has passed, I'm going to just smash it. Now, the reason I'm not stopping what I'm doing and moving over there right now is the morale is really low on it. They just took it 25%. You can see this one's 23%. I believe that's because, I don't know what that is. Like, so is he not building right? Because let's look at my opponent. You know, when you start a war with anyone, you need to be looking at them and trying to gather some type of information to what you expect. So this is it. I check who he's at war with. 3 people. So there's the AI, Argentina, and Colombia. Now, where's Colombia? No, I know Colombia. Oh, so Argentina's right here. Okay, good. This is what I know. He has 1 oil right here and 1 oil in his starting spot. He has a lot of territory. He has 36 provinces. I have only 22. I only have 22, and I'm only 150 energy between my coal and my gas of being positive with 0% oil consumption. So what does that tell me? He doesn't have a lot of oil. He could be energy negative, but he's definitely not oil strong. I also have, the city of oil. So I have a lot more resources than him. I have the defensive advantage because my economy is better. What else do I know? Well, he's at war with this player who seems to be messing with him, and Argentina, who's an AI. I'm concerned why Colombia does not quit already, but he's probably just having fun messing with Mexico. Mexico has to deal with 2 other people, which is great. My thinking on this is I definitely need to get him off the river, but I don't need to be taking this. I don't want to have to fight Colombia either. I'd rather have Mexico fight Colombia. I want to take this river, and then in phase 2, I want to take this. So Mexico could be contained right here. I kind of like the idea of Mexico having territory and no energy, because if he just has infantry and cavalry, it'll be a lot easier fight. And then I could take Chile's second city here. But yeah, that's my plan. Very surprised that I didn't lose artillery though. I can't explain that. It's like the health of everyone. So if you consolidate troops, the health theoretically is in combat is acting like they were all the same health, regardless of their individual health if you were to separate the army. And I didn't really realize that before. I could be wrong, but there's... what I should do? I should take the artillery apart. 5 artillery in, and they've all been the same health, which is weird. That is so weird. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But in the meantime, I'm going to start bombarding the city. The cavalry will arrive this evening here, and that should give me enough time to get more healthy infantry coming through. We could then strike at the suburb. It would be really nice if this suburb loses enough health to where we can see why it's invisible. I also want to see how I want to see if this 64% here in Hijaz goes up or down, because that would be interesting. Maybe he's overexpanded. He's built a lot on the other side of the river. Everything has a 2 and a 3. Oh, he does have an oil right here too. I still don't think that's enough to save him. That's interesting. It would be nice to free up these infantry over here too. I wonder if I can grab this 30 here and bring these 30 over, because that would be nice. They'll heal up in an hour or 2. And then this wounded 16 can go here to guard that front line. And this wounded 15 could go over here. And I can move another wounded 15 from the capital, since now it will be defended with this artillery group. So I can move this infantry up here. All right, here we go. That's good. And lastly, production. I've just been building artillery and cavalry. Not a lot of cavalry, but I've been building them. But I'm going to be pivoting soon. And I'm undecided if I want to build tanks or heavy tanks. Should I just go straight to the heavy tank? Heavy takes 45 damage and 260 health. Tank is 175 and 30 health. I think with the amount of oil that's in this game, I should just swap to heavy tanks. I'm going to keep churning out cavalry. With all the oil that's in this game, I might as well just go to heavy tanks. Now, when the city is built up, I'm building up the industry here and the forts and the factories and the railroads. But when this is all up, I'm going to start building airplanes. Now, I decided to build them here instead of over here, just because I don't want to build airdromes. I don't think anyone cares about my starting location now that I have a city center. I'll build airdromes along the river so they can cross the river. It's a little thoughts, little ideas, nothing too crazy. Very surprised that I didn't lose artillery. I'm surprised the suburb had 3 artillery. Quite bummed about how many artillery and forts these cities have. They're really hard to take. But I think that's the point. I'm really surprised Spain did it, but I think Spain didn't have a river to cross like I did, so they could get to this location quicker. And by getting to this location quicker, they were able to take the city before it maybe built up the high-level forts. That's my thinking. So the city center is the unique building here. These are your standard double resource provinces, but this oil is much more. And what would be interesting is if infantry come out quicker. A double resource gets out infantry twice as fast as a single resource, with everything else being the same. So I wonder what these high oil places are. So I also want to build a barracks here. I want to wait until the morale gets up just so I could see the numbers properly. And it'd be interesting to see when infantry shows up, how quick it comes out. But that might be a little hack to get more infantry out by building a barracks here. Now I'm going to build a barracks here anyways because these are all doubles. And now that I've taken 2 new food resources, I'm going to be churning out a lot more infantry, which is good because I'm going to have a huge line to defend. the way to win is outnumber your enemy when you're attacking them and outnumber them in construction and production and recruitment. That way I could always just be ahead of Mexico, even if he continues to survive, just like Colombia is continuing to survive, because that would be annoying to have to deal with him. But yeah, that's my plan. I need to not expand too much though. My coal and my gas are not that high right now. If I were to take a few more provinces, I may have to start consuming my oil, and that's not what I want. So I'm building harbors here at this single coal. I'll probably add a railroad to it. I need to look at every other single resource province I have and make sure they are properly built up. And they are. I don't have that many. But yeah, that's something I'll need to keep tabs of. I'm glad I have a stockpile of resources too. So I'll really be ready for expansion. And things are going to start getting a lot quicker once I take this suburb. It's the evening of day 22. I've taken over the city of Tikrit, and now I'm going to take out Mexico. So what's my plan?